These are the 5 C's of seducing a woman. And seduction is what? It's getting her into her emotions, making her feel attracted to you, making her feel drawn to you, and then leading her to where she wants to be led. That is the experience that all women want. Heterosexual women who are physically and emotionally attracted to you, this is what they want.
Welcome to the Unapologetic Man Podcast, the only podcast that's all about self-improvement, confidence, success, women, and being a man without making any apologies for it.
What is up, you legends? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the UMP. Happy Monday. I hope the vacation treated you well as you were in your tryptophan coma. Too much turkey, too much stuffing, too much of them mashed potatoes and fucking pumpkin pie. You idiot! You look like a chicken McNugget with tits. You look like a turnip standing vertically with a penis on it. You look like a potato with a bathing suit on it, bro. So time to get back into the gym, time to start jacking weights, time to get ready for 2025. And I'm going to tell you a big secret right now, boys. Once it hits December, which I think it actually is December now, I get effing busy. Why is that? Because guys start thinking about, I want to start pulling girls in 2025, like really start pulling. Not, I'm kind of getting some success here. I'm kind of getting some success there with Mark's techniques. But honestly, brother, listening to a podcast just isn't enough. It just isn't. You got to get intrusive. You got to go after the bullshit inside your head. You got to be part of a community where we hold you accountable to approach and get women. And I'm telling you, boys, I get damn busy in December. So if you've been thinking about it, maybe ho-humming the idea, now's the time to sign up for my 3-month coaching program because we are about to have a waiting list. So get in before the tidal wave. If you apply today, I can guarantee you that you will get in before this gigantic tidal wave, sometimes going out to 8 to 12 weeks of a waiting list, but we'll always let you know kind of where we're at. Basically speaking, when we schedule your call with us, that's about the time that we have availability to start the program. So once again, if you want to explore that with us, if you want to see coming into my 3-month coaching program to make you an absolute girl magnet, now is the time to pull the trigger. Stop kicking the can down the road. Stop procrastinating. Be masculine. Execute today because like I said, we're about to get busy. Let's get into the content. So today is the 5 C's of seducing women. That's right, 5 C's. Perhaps it's this way on video, I don't know. But it's the 5 C's of getting a woman attracted to you, seducing her. And I'm going to tell you something, gentlemen. Stay tuned for the very last 2 to 3 because these are the most interesting ones and they are going to surprise you. This is really important to get a girl attracted to you. The 5 C's of seduction, not to be confused with the 5 C's of wilderness survival, which of course are a cutting tool, combustion, cordage, cover, and a container. You have to have those 5 things if you're going to survive out in the wilderness. In fact, I think I might do a podcast about that on my birthday. I really enjoy wilderness survival, bushcraft skills, ancient skill sets to survive in the wilderness. I absolutely love that stuff, and I'll probably do a podcast about that in February on my birthday. But today, boys, we're doing the 5 C's of seducing a woman, so let's get into it. The first C is consideration. Consideration means you putting yourself in other people's shoes. It's empathy. It's being able to see what they want and always considering the all-important adage with them. What's in it for me? The only thing that girl is thinking about is what's in it for her. Now, here's a really interesting concept. Many times when guys first start approaching women, they're really focused on their own state. How do I feel? How am I coming off? Do I look insecure? Is my energy good? Is my tonality good? How's my body language? Are the things that I'm saying making her laugh? And they're really self-focused. Once you get really good with women, you start considering her state. How is she feeling? Is she comfortable? Is she having a good time? Is she attracted to me? What's going on inside of her? This is what consideration is. You're always considering what her state is, and as you get better, you will focus on her state. We always say that seducing a woman, getting attraction, is all based on her emotions, her feeling good, her being a little bit on a roller coaster of not knowing what you want, being a little bit confused, but feeling those giddy emotions like she did when she was a kid. That's what consideration is. You're considering how she's feeling. This could also be labeled as compassion. Say, for example, you're talking to a girl and you notice that it's really cold and you guys are outside on a deck in the middle of winter and there's a heater over there. Compassion means seeing what her discomfort is and bringing her to comfort by saying something like, hey, let's go talk over here. You're probably cold. You can stand under the heater. This is considering what's going on with her. It's being compassionate about her situation. It's walking a mile in her shoes, which builds quick rapport. Here's a secret about persuasion. The person who can be considerate of the other person's situation, attitudes, belief systems, and their state, meaning how they feel, is the person who's going to gain more persuasion over the other person. If, on the other hand, you're talking to somebody and you're very selfish about your own state, then you won't build rapport as quickly, and the other person who perhaps is considering you is winning, as it were, as far as persuasion is concerned. This is why salespeople are really charismatic. They make you feel good. The best salespeople are just cool, man. They consider, how do you feel? What do you want? They say things like, can I get you a glass of water? How would you feel about doing this? I noticed you really like the features of this car, but kind of didn't like the features of this car. Are we leaning more towards this kind of model? Observing what the other person wants and taking them to where they want to be led. This is the first C, consideration. The second C, which may surprise you, is called collaboration. Collaboration. Now, collaboration is exactly as it sounds. You guys are collaborating to create an experience together that you can both enjoy. When I talked about consideration, I said you're highly considering her emotions. Well, collaboration bleeds into this because you're collaborating with her to bring her an experience that she can enjoy. What do I always say to you guys about seduction? I always say you want to lead the woman to where she wants to be led. What you do is you observe her, you kind of figure out by way of observation, by being a detective, what she wants, and then you lead her there. Well, this fits exactly in the collaboration. You want to be in a collaborative kind of vibe. Now, not always, and I'm going to get to that with number 4 and number 5, but largely you want to build rapport. You want to have an alliance with her. And alliance is a term that I use in my coaching to say that you and her are teaming up, because we as humans like to team up. We like to be collaborative. We like to have allies, which is the root of the word alliance. So say, for example, somebody in the group is being stupid and you guys are at a bar or a nightclub. You guys are sitting at a table and someone's being, let's say, racist. You know she's not a racist because, let's say, you've observed via your consideration and your collaboration that she's really left-leaning, right? She likes human rights, animal rights. She's a freaking soap dodger. She hugs trees. And the last time she took a shower was in 2019, okay? She's a hippie. So you observe from this hippie that she probably doesn't like racist comments. And there's some dude at the table being racist. So what you would do is you would kind of kick her under the table and kind of roll your eyes at her like, dude, look at this guy. He's being pretty racist. That creates an alliance between you two, having similar belief systems, similar attitudes, collaborating to team up and do life, as it were. One of the reasons I'm committed to Marissa, my girl, is because she's the best teammate I've ever had. We just worked so good together as a team. And you find out how good your girlfriend or wife is as a teammate when you have a kid together. I mean, nothing tests a relationship the way a kid does, but her and I work so well. Like, I got the diapers, you get the stroller. Okay, I'm going to do this, you do that. And we take turns collaborating in order to bring us to the outcome that we hope will manifest. Collaboration, very important. Next one is consistency. And gentlemen, this is something that I see from you guys. Yes, you listening, time and time again, that needs to be worked on. Some of you guys are so damn inconsistent. You procrastinate, you ho-hum, you kick the can down the road, you are indecisive. Let me ask you a question. Is being decisive or indecisive attractive to women? Which one's more attractive? You know it. All you guys got that answer correct. It's being decisive. Yet so many of you, and I don't want you to get butthurt about this, but I want you to take a good long look in the mirror. So many of you are inconsistent. You don't do what you say you're going to do. You make promises that you don't keep. And honestly, brother, I hope you can take this kind of criticism. I hope you don't get butthurt too easily or hyperextend your butthole, but it's because you have too much feminine energy. A masculine man is consistent. He does what he says he's going to do. When he says he's going to show up, he shows up. When he says he's going to do a certain project, he does the project. When he says he's going to accomplish something, you're damn right. He is going to accomplish it come hell or high water because he will never quit because he's masculine. Women want to know that you are like the rock of Gibraltar in the middle of the ocean. You are this permanent, steadfast rock in the middle of her ocean, embedded into the bedrock of the seafloor, and her little waves are just lapping up against you. Do you think her waves can move that rock of Gibraltar? Obviously not. And you show that to her by being consistent. If you say you're going to show up there at 9, you show up at 9. If you say you guys are going to a certain venue and you guys haven't agreed to change that venue, you go there. You pay for the meal. You open the car door for her if it's in her path when you guys are, say, for example, going back to the car. You are consistent. You are masculine. You are chivalrous. That consistency is showing her that you're a man of honor. One of my favorite movies of all time is Gladiator. And what do they say in Gladiator, bro? Strength and honor. Strength and honor both go into consistency because sometimes you just don't feel like it. And this is the essence of procrastination. You guys who procrastinate are letting your feelings dictate your behavior, which is feminine. It's feminine energy inside of a man to procrastinate, to put things off, to not be consistent. And I see this all the time with guys who apply to my program. They just fall off like they got sucked into a black hole. And I'm like, hey, bro, where'd you go? They went into their feminine, let's be honest, because of fear, because of procrastination, because that feminine energy inside of a man, which women, as well as myself, frankly, do not respect. Be masculine, be a trigger puller, do what the fuck you say you're gonna do. Boys, your word is the only thing that you have. And your word, to get a little spiritual, is creative. So if you say something and you don't do it, what's gonna happen? You are creating a reality that you don't want in your future. You are also proving to yourself, and listen very closely, you are proving to yourself that you can't even rely on yourself. You say to somebody, perhaps your brother, let's say, hey bro, I'm gonna show up and go mountain biking with you Friday at 6. Let's meet at this place. And then 30 minutes before, you're like, sorry bro, I just don't feel like it. I hyperextended my vagina and I just wanna stay home and watch Netflix. Your brother's gonna be like, dude, this guy's a flake. And what are you gonna think of yourself? You're going to think, I can't even trust my own word, so how can I be confident? Confidence comes from competence. Competence comes from doing what you say you're going to do. So one of the biggest things I tell my boys in the coaching program is show up to your calls, do your homework, do the weekly assignments, be a dude who follows through on your word. The second you start flaking, it not only hurts your confidence, it not only hurts myself and my coach's trust in you, but most importantly, it makes you not believe in yourself, which is going to obviously have detrimental effects with your ability to seduce women. So do what you say you're going to do. Now, that being said, the next C is conundrum. And it's funny because I had to think, what C fits building intrigue, being mysterious? And I was sitting there thinking, I was like, conundrum. You want to put her in a bit of a conundrum because while you want to be consistent and always do what you say you're going to do, you don't always want to say that you're going to do something. When I say be consistent, I don't mean be predictable. And conundrum means being unpredictable, building intrigue, keeping her kind of on her toes, not letting her totally know what you're thinking, not letting her know totally what's going to happen. Because as we've seen from a recent Instagram post that I posted, we had a soccer player from Europe who was basically perfect according to his wife, and his wife left him. And in that Instagram post, I talk about, dude, if you're too predictable, if you're too boring in the way that she knows exactly what's going to happen, she's going to lose attraction for you and leave you. Even if you're quote unquote perfect, like this guy who was a soccer star in Europe, worth tens of millions of dollars. All the chicks wanted him, but because he was kind of vanilla, he was predictable, he didn't bring conundrum into his relationship with this woman, she got bored of him and left him. So how do we be a conundrum? Well, first of all, don't reveal everything about yourself up front. When she asks you, for example, what was it like living in Japan? Or why did you live in Japan? In my case, I lived in Japan for 4 years. I may say something like, oh, you don't want to know. You don't want to know. It's too early for us to talk about that. It's pretty intense. And she's thinking, whoa, like, what did he do? Was he like a samurai in Japan? Was he part of the Yakuza? Why did he tell me you don't want to know? Or she asks about, like, why are you single? You'd be like, oh, you don't want to know that. You don't want to know that. But I'll tell you one tip. It's because I'm a horrible kisser and horrible at giving cunnilingus. I always thought you're supposed to just bite the vagina. Isn't that true? Bite on the clitoris. Isn't that true? I don't know why, but no girls want it. But you definitely don't want to know what happened with my ex. Drama. And she's like, ooh, something spicy. Sometimes, boys, rotten meat adds to the flavor. To take another quote from Gladiator. Do you remember that part where he's like, these slaves are rotten? And he's like, adds to the flavor. Remember that part? In a way, that's kind of true, where when you add mystery, you add flavor because she doesn't want you to be boring. And I do this over text messages too. I'm not always predictable when I text her back. Sometimes I text her back in 10 minutes. Sometimes I text her back in 5 hours. This, of course, goes into a more thorough required explanation of texting. I can't tell you how to text chicks in just a 5-second clip, but generally speaking, I'm always trying to build intrigue. I'm always kind of leaving her on the edge of her seat, not always giving her the information, such as this. I say to her, so, hey, the other night when we went out, I noticed something about you. And she's like, what's that? And I'll say, I don't want to give you a big head, so I'm not going to tell you. And she's like, come on, tell me. And you're like, nope. Your head's going to get so big, you're going to turn into the Kool-Aid man and jump through the freaking wall. Not happening, Missy. So anyway, what'd you get up to this weekend? And she's like, no, let's talk about that thing. Conundrum goes into many of these one-liners that I teach in my coaching program, such as, you do this one thing that's so cute, but I don't want to tell you what it is because then you'll stop doing it. Now she's got a conundrum. What is that thing? Or there's so many good things about you and just one bad. And every single girl without fail will be like, well, what's the bad thing? You'd be like, dude, I just told you there's so many good things about you. Why are you focusing on the bad? Why are you being so negative? And she's always like, no, I just want to know. You'd be like, listen, don't you know that 9 out of 10 African children are starving and dying every minute? And yet here you are focusing on nothing but the negative. Why don't you ask me what one of the good things about you is? And she's like, well, what is one thing about me that's good? You'd be like, you don't want to know that either. Your head's going to get too big. And you're building that intrigue. Now, always, of course, boys, within the scope of the 80-100 rule and all the other techniques that I teach, but conundrum, always leave mystery, bro. Always kind of leave her wanting more, thinking, I don't totally know this guy. I can't predict what he's going to do. However, when he tells me he's going to show up, he shows up. When he promises me he's going to help me move, which, by the way, boys, don't help a girl move unless she does something for you in return, like take you to 2 steak dinners, which is always my request when girls ask me to help them move with my truck. If you're going to help her move, you fucking show up, you do the work, you execute, and then you leave her wanting more, leaving her in that conundrum. And finally, boys, the last one of the 5 C's, number 5, is control. What do you think control points to? That's right. You're a smart motherfucker. Frame control. The most important element of seducing a woman. Frame control means you are leading her to where she wants to be led. Now, the other day, one of my female friends is like, frame control? Control? Why are you trying to control women? I'm like, first of all, relax, okay? Take a step back, take a deep breath, and unhyperextend your ponytail because you're coming a little unpeeled. What it means is you're in control, but you're not controlling. You're leading women to where they want to be led. You're taking the conversational burden and steering it in a way that's going to bring her the best emotions. You're taking her, for example, on a date, and you're executing that date in a very intentional way, and you're taking her, as we always say in my coaching program, on a world-class experience. So the 5 C's, boys, are consideration. You're considerate of what she's feeling. You're paying attention to what she's feeling. Next one's collaboration. You guys are an alliance. You're working as a team. You are teammates to achieve a certain goal. And when you have that, it builds a lot of rapport. Next one thing is consistency, bro. Start doing what you say you're going to do. It is just so shameful to see guys procrastinate, ho-hum, and fucking flake. Guys who ghost, sorry, bro, but you're being in your feminine energy and you should really start working on that. Next one's conundrum. Always kind of have her questioning, always leave some mystery. Don't give her everything about you. Leave her guessing in some respects. And of course, the last one is control, which goes into frame control. You are not controlling, but you are in control. This is what gets women attracted to you. These are the 5 C's of seducing a woman. And seduction is what? It's getting her into her emotions, making her feel attracted to you, making her feel drawn to you, and then leading her to where she wants to be led. That is the experience that all women want. Heterosexual women who are physically and emotionally attracted to you, this is what they want. The 5 C's of seduction. Gentlemen, I have to remind you again, we are about to get damn busy. So if you've been thinking about it and procrastinating and kicking the can down the road, now's the time to execute like a fucking trigger puller, a masculine man who knows what he wants and knows how to get it. What would it be like if you got to the end of your life and didn't develop the skill set to get girls attracted to you? I'm just going to be honest with you, boys. It's easy to listen to podcasts. It's easy to take notes, deploy some of the methods. I get emails all the time, but guys are like, dude, your methods work so well and I'm still pulling 7s. If you want to get 8s, 9s, and 10s, you got to invest in yourself. You got to up the ante. You got to man up or punk down, because honestly, bro, this is the only way to do it. This shit's hard, man. It's a skill set and it ain't easy. And I'll tell you this, it ain't for pussies either. So if you're a fucking man and you want to face your fears, if you want to learn this shit and get the last girl that you masturbated to on Pornhub.com in your bed and telling you how attracted she is to you and riding you like a bucking bronco at the Wyoming rodeo, then you need to come into the program, because that's exactly what we do. We fix the bullshit in your head. We tell you exactly how to go get girls. We have so many methods, so many strategies, so many techniques, a vault full of so many secrets. It's going to blow your mind, and the results that you will get with us will at least 10x where you're currently at with women. I think you'll agree it's worth exploring. Click the link in the description below, fill out the quick application. I'm going to email you personally. And if everything looks good, if everything makes sense, we'll get on a call together and see if we can, once again, at least 10, that's right, 10x your results with women. Looking forward to hearing from you soon. For those of you who won't apply, which I don't understand why you wouldn't, but hey, it's cool, man. I just thank you for listening to my podcast. For those of you who won't apply, I drop podcasts on Mondays and Thursdays, so please stay tuned for the next one, and I will see you in the next episode.